I have a few minutes to discuss Beast before I go back in there and watch The Thing 40th anniversary on the big screen. Really looking forward to that. But in the meanwhile, let's talk about the new Idris Elba creature feature Beast. Wow, this movie had no right to be as good as it was, nor as entertaining as it was, because this movie could have gone one of two directions. This could have been an incredibly entertaining movie, or it could have been an incredibly boring movie. Because if you really narrow down its concept, it really is just a family. It really is just a family in a car for the entire movie, surrounded by a lion. So that can also be very boring. But I can tell you right off the back, this movie is not boring at all. This movie is just constant tension building. It's constant suspense. From the moment our group of characters enter into the jungle, the tension is always at an 11. Like, it never lets go. There's always new ways to continue this story. There's always new ways to immerse the audience into this movie. And then there's a few things I want to give props to here. For one, the sound design really added to the experience. This is definitely the type of movie you should watch in a theater and with a group of people, because it really makes the environment and the landscape come alive. It really, the environment and the lion are very much a character in this movie. They play a big part in this movie. And this group of characters, they are in like the middle of the jungle. There's no nearby town. There's no, like, help is nowhere in sight. And so it really just adds like so much to the experience. And the landscape, like, it immerses you with the most simplest of sounds, with just like the simple sound of the wind, a twig snapping in the distance, the lion growling in the shadows, in the darkness. It really just immerses you fully into the screen. And this is a movie that I would highly recommend people check out in a theater, for sure, because this is definitely not top movie you should be watching at home. This is a big screen theater going experience. And just all of the tension really works in this movie. It really continuously keeps you on edge. It keeps you invested. It keeps you engaged in the movie. There's not a moment in this movie where it's boring or it slows down. It's always at a high. And I think just that's what made this movie really enjoyable, because the writing and the execution of the deaths that happen in the movie, which I'm not spoiling anything by saying that, the deaths that happen, the director did a really bold choice of making the emotional scenes very little screen time. So it might be dedicated to like one shot, or it might be dedicated to like 30 seconds of a scene before it continues on, because these characters you haven't really got to know. And I think the director, he really understands the characters that he's presenting, and that he's written for the audience here. And so I really appreciated that in this movie, that it does have a consistent pace throughout it. And all of the line stuff, like, of course, that is really entertaining. And as far as the nighttime sequences, there's a really good action sequence that takes place at night with these hunters, which I thought that was a really well directed scene, both in what it's presenting, but also in the sound design of the movie as well. And just a lot of the suspense works purely because of the sound design. So I'll give you an example. So there's a scene when Idris Elba is in the water, and he's going to find these keys to a vehicle. And that entire sequence was just constant tension. One, one moment in particular, which I won't say, but it's, yeah, that entire sequence was just constant suspense, and yeah, the sound really adds a lot to this movie. I can't say that enough. The sound in this movie is immaculate. The cinematography, like, holy shit, like, this is some of the best cinematography I've seen in a creature feature in such a long time. Like, this movie has some great one long gigantic take, and there's so much thought put into every shot, and there's so much passion presented on screen from both the director and the cinematographer, because the way that this movie is shot, just, it, yeah, once again, like, it really helps increase the experience and the feel for this movie. So yeah, I cannot praise, yeah, the cinematography enough in this movie. And the ending, the ending to this movie is going to go down in history as one of the best movie moments ever. If you've seen the movie, you know the scene, or the final encounter, I guess, if I can phrase it that way. Yeah, I can't say anything else besides that. You'll just have to watch the movie. You'll have to see what I mean. But yeah, I was really happy. I was cheering in my seat. Yeah, that's all I can say. Just, yeah, go watch the movie, and you will be pleased. Idris Elba and all of the relationship and the chemistry between these actors, I thought was great. Yeah, no problem. And the movie has a fine setup. Yeah, like, it's not a great setup, but like, do you really expect like a great setup in a movie like this, when the poster of this movie is Idris Elba versing a lion? Like, you're just waiting for that scene to go down. So yeah, the movie is very quick to get to the jungle. So yeah, the movie doesn't really waste much time. Like, it has a good introduction with setting up our characters, setting up a story for them, and I really like that. But at the end of the day, I had such a blast with this movie. Like, this is a movie I'm definitely going to see again, because this is a movie that like, I think it will, like, I think it's an enjoyable movie no matter what. Like, this movie's goal is to entertain its audience, and the movie certainly succeeds in that. All of the scares in the movie as well worked surprisingly well. Like, they were surprisingly effective, which I did not expect. But so yeah, this movie really surprised me. Like, this movie genuinely surprised me. Like, I didn't go into this movie, like, I was expecting, just another average creature feature, and I walked out of this movie, like, saying otherwise. I think this is one of the best creature feature flicks we have got in recent years. So yeah, I highly recommend you go check out Beast, and on the big screen as well. So yeah, they are my thoughts on Beast. If you have seen Beast, let me know down in the comments, what did you think of it? What was your favorite moment in Beast? Let me know all of that down in the comment section down below. Now I'm gonna head off and see The Thing 40th anniversary on the big screen, and I might do a reaction afterwards. I'll see how I go. Yeah, the movie starts in about 10 minutes, so I still have some time to spare. But yeah, I will report back to you guys at what I think of The Thing on the big screen.